Today I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. Stay tuned. Hey folks, this is Jason Good with the Good Life Outdoors. Today I'm going to be walking you through how to build your own bait tank or live well out of an igloo cooler. Why the cooler? Portability. So in my case, I want to use this in my kayak. And yeah, those kayak live wells that the big brand names sell, they're pretty pricey. With this, you can build it for well under 30 bucks and be just as effective. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So here's the cooler. It's your run-of-the-mill 9-quart regular igloo cooler. Hinged lid, has the carrying handle. And I chose this one specifically for the size and shape of it. I wanted something that would be short enough that it may slide under at least part of the seat of my kayak. Have the handle so that I can easily carry it around, especially once it's full of water and bait. And it's fairly inexpensive. I think I picked this one up for about 13 bucks. You really don't need much for this build. The heart of the system is one of these bubble boxes. Any kind of bait aerator will do for this. This was 8 bucks on Amazon, and I've used this one before, and it works just fine. You're gonna need some sort of adhesive. You're gonna need a drill, some sort of utility knife, and then I have an extra knife here, and you'll see what that's for here in just a few. So the first thing I need to do is drill a hole for the tubing to come through. I'm going to try to get into one of these grooves here. I'm going to eyeball it. You probably could use a hot nail or something to just kind of poke through from the other side and figure out where to drill. But because this doesn't exactly match up inside to outside, I want to make sure I get into this blue part, but as high up as I possibly can. So I'm going to eyeball a place to put the mark to drill and drill from the outside so I get a nice straight hole. All right, I've made my mark right there. Start drilling. All right, how's that for right on the money? Now before I route the tubing through there, I need to see where my box is going to stay. So I'm hoping to have it right around in here so that, maybe right in here, so that the tube can come out and go straight through the hole. Now you can see that the clip on this I've bent to fit a different container. So I'm going to need to bend this down flat and get it ready so that it can slide into a slit that I make here on the side of the cooler and stay in place. So I'm going to go ahead and bend that right now. There we go, that should lay pretty flat against the side of the cooler now. Okay, now I'm going to mock this up. I've already got the tube in here. I'm going to go ahead and push this out through the hole. And see where this box needs to sit for it to kind of naturally plug in and not bind up too much. Be able to get enough air through there. So I think that looks pretty good right there. I'm gonna take a pencil and make a mark for my cut. Tubing out of the way, get that out of the way. I'm ready for my cut. All right, I've got my little utility knife here. Now I've made my mark, and as I'm looking at it, I want to probably go a little underneath it because I want to have some room to be able to get that clip in there. So I'm going to make a cut through this first layer of plastic. that is a little harder than you expect it to be. So I'm going to have to do this over a few cuts. I've got my little cut here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this old steak knife and kind of get in here and kind of clear a path for that knife to go in there. Now it's pretty tight, so I may have to kind of come back here and cut a little bit more. Really the idea is just kind of keep it as tight of a fit as possible, but be able to get down here behind this first layer of blue plastic and have it be ready to accept that clip. This does take some doing. And now that I've got behind there, I'm just going to use the knife to kind of just clear out some of the foam away from the plastic. So I'm trying to keep that up against the blue plastic as much as possible. Keep my fingers as well in that. That should get toward this, just accepts that box right into it. And this is going to take a little fiddling around, so bear with me. And there we go. So in looking at how this is going to be set up, I want to make sure that the diffuser stone sits close to the bottom of the tank and under as much water as possible. So what I plan on doing is actually adhering the tube to the inside of this little groove here. So I'm kind of measuring it up, eyeballing it here so that I can run the tubing through and then cut it to length so that there's not a whole lot of extra hanging out. So what I'm going to do is run the tube in, cut it to fit, go ahead and seal this hole on both sides with the silicone, and then use the silicone adhesive to run a bead right here and hopefully keep the tube in place and keep that diffuser stone down at the bottom of the tank. use a little of this painter's tape to hold this in place so it'll adhere overnight. And we'll come back to this, see how it dried up tomorrow. Okay, it's the next morning. Let this sit overnight. I'll take this tape off and make sure that everything turned out the way it should. There we go, it's all put in place. So, pretty much now, fill up water, make sure it works, and go from there. And there we go, all ready to go. Let's add a little bait. Well, there it is. Nice and easy, little bait tank for the kayak. Pretty inexpensive project, came in for a little less than 30 bucks. I'll link to all the products down below so you know what I used. Feel free to make this your own. It can work with any kind of aerator and ice chest combos. So this one worked for me because it goes into the seat of my kayak, and I'm looking forward to get out there and using it. So hope you liked what you saw today. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you do subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when I post new videos. Now, I appreciate each and every one of you who's watching today. Y'all get out there and live the good life. Thanks a lot.